this is 100% going to be an HTR instead of a TBR because May is about to be something different. Hello, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Kyla, and every single month I put out a TBR video of books that I really would love to read that month. I am someone that's like pretty curated with their TBR, just because obviously doing videos, planning vlogs, that kind of thing. Like there's an element of curated to my TBRs, there's also an element of mood reading to my TBRs. Like I always throw some books in there that I'm like, if I'm not feeling this, then I could move to this instead. Obviously, there's some sort of like planning that goes into it because of videos and vlogs and that kind of thing. May is about to be something a little bit different because your girl got a new job. Pat on the back. Very excited. I start halfway through May, and I know that it's gonna be like a little bit of an adjustment. I'm still working remote and that kind of thing, but like it's a 40-hour week job. So I'm definitely gonna have to like adjust my schedule a bit from like what I have been the past like 6 months, if not longer, of like not having any pure schedule, just reading and filming whenever I want to. This month is about to be a little bit more planned and just the month of new routines. With all that being said, this is definitely an HTR. All very exciting things, but purely hopeful. I do have a couple of videos planned, that kind of thing. I'm also not participating in anything this month, other than like one buddy read, but like that's not overwhelming. You know, I'm not doing any readathons, book clubs, or anything because I just need a chill month. That is entirely too long of an intro, but I wanted to explain. Anyways, let's just get into the HTR. I have picked 10 books, which still seems like a lot, but 10 books that I would really love to read this month. And guys, there's a lot of romance out here. I don't know what is going on, but there's just something in me that just wants all the lighthearted and gushy books right now. I don't know what to tell you. This is so not me, but I just am like feeding into the spring vibes, and I can't help myself. Also, something about the romance covers right now are just like making me so happy to look at them that I'm like, I just need to read them all. I need to read them all. So I have a handful of romances, which is what I'm going to start with, that I would love to read in May. The first one I am most definitely reading, and that is Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I'm going to be buddy reading this with my girl Kendall. I'm so excited. I will have her tag below. I know you all know who Kendall is, but just in case you don't, I will have her YouTube and Instagram linked below. Definitely go check her out, but we are going to be buddy reading Bride. She actually bought me Horror Store for my birthday, thinking that could be a buddy read, but I've already read it, so we decided to go with Bride. This is a bit outside my comfort zone in the whole romance department, but not really, because I'm also a fantasy gal, so I feel like this will really work for me, but I'm not like a Twilight gal, so I don't know if this is going to be my cup of tea or not, but I am excited to give it a whirl. I also know that it does include like some of the STEM vibes from Ali Hazelwood. Like she normally includes some sort of like STEM theme to her books, and I believe it continues in this one. And I also have heard that this really like goes into the lore of werewolves and vampires, which like cool. I like that. That's a bit of fantasy, so like I'm interested in that. I don't know what the steam level is. I have no idea. Other than that, I don't really know a whole lot about like the actual plot of this, so I'm really excited to get into it and also just have it be a buddy read, because I think it's going to be so fun, because I do know that Kendall does love Twilight, so this is going to be interesting coming from like a Twilight gal to a non-Twilight gal, so I think it's going to be the perfect fun time, and I cannot wait. And then another one from my physical TBR, because I tried to do like a mixed bag of like physical versus library this month. One that I've been saying I wanted to read for a few months now and still haven't gotten to it is Butcher and Blackbird. It's a serial killer romance. I don't think I need to say anything else. I've talked about this in a few TBRs. I haven't gotten to it yet. This is one that I will be reading physically physically because of things that have happened with the audiobook narrator. This is one that I will just be reading physically, which hasn't happened in a long time. So we will see if my attention span can keep up. We'll see. I don't know. That sounds very overwhelming right now just because audiobooks help me so much with like focus. There's just no other option right now. I shall not be participating in the audiobook, so we're gonna read this physically. Serial killer romance. I've heard it goes there. Again, a bit outside my comfort zone, but like that's what we're here to do these days. We need to find what kind of romance we like. I'm not sure if this is gonna be for me. The serial killer side says yes. The steam side of things, I think I will not care about. We'll have to see. And then my friend Teresa, who reads a lot of romance and just is one of my like bookish friends that I go to all the time. We talk about books back and forth all the time. She saw that I was getting into romance and reading a lot of Ali Hazelwood, and she was like, I think you're really gonna like Sarah Adams, so you should definitely check her out. So I decided to pick up When in Rome from the library. I don't know anything about this, but they're baking. There's pies on the cover. You say baking and I am here for it. I'm gonna show up, so it just sounds like a cute time. And the first line of this just tells me all I need to know. It says, opposites certainly attract for a stranded pop star and a small town baker in this charming slice of romance. And yes, that's all I need to know. It looks adorable. It includes baking. Need I say more? I went with this one over, I know she has like a sports romance, I think, called like the cheat sheet or something like that. Was it called? Yeah, the cheat sheet. I have not gotten into sports romance yet. I'm not above it, but I figured this was like a safe space to start and see if I like her writing and her stories and that kind of thing. So this is where we are starting. And I believe this is the first in a series, so that makes me happy. I am a series gal, okay? I love it. If I find something that I love, I am excited to be, that I get to like experience that again. Like that makes me so happy. So I don't know, we're gonna give it a shot. And then the next romance that I have is Delilah Green Doesn't Care. Ask me why. I couldn't tell you. I was at the bookstore the other day and I was staring at this purple cover and I was like, I want to read this. I want to read it. Something about it was just drawing me in. I mean, I've heard good things about it over the years, and I know it's the first in a series as well, which makes me, again, equally happy. But other than that, I don't know anything about it. I believe it's a female-female romance. That's all I really know. I mean, judging by the cover, that's what I'm guessing. But I don't know much beyond that. But there was something about this purple that was just calling to me. So I do plan on checking it out from the library. I didn't buy it. I was good. I only got one book at the bookstore that day. I was good. We said we're gonna read from the library and not cover by, It was really hard though. I almost walked out with this one, but I put it back. I was like, nope, you can get it from the library. So I do plan on getting that as well. That's it. That's all I can say about it. I don't know why I want to read it, but I just do. And we're just going with the feels right now. And then my last romance of the month, y'all gonna squeal. Y'all romance readers are going to squeal with joy when you hear these words come out of my mouth. And I know so many of my friends are going to be clapping that this is actually happening. I mean, it's on the HTR, but like I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen. And it's Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. Like, if I'm saying I'm getting into romance, I feel like I need to be reading her. So I'm gonna start from the beginning, or at least beginning of like that universe with Part of Your World. I know she had a new one just come out, but like I want to read them in order. It's happening. I cannot stay away any longer, okay? I know this is so popular. I also know from what I've heard, the romance is kind of like a subplot that she includes a lot of life and just other things going on. And that's the kind of romance that I gravitate towards. So I think it's gonna be a match. I feel like I'm gonna jive more with Abby Jimenez than I have with Emily Henry so far, but we'll have to see. I've only read one Emily Henry and I DNF'd it, so I'm gonna give her another shot at some point, but I want to start with Abby Jimenez with Part of Your World, and yeah, I'm waiting for a hold from my library to come through, which is why I don't have it physically, because everyone wants this book still. It came out a few years ago and everyone still wants this book, so I'm on the list. I think I'm only like second in line, so it should definitely happen in May. You're welcome. And then I do have one more romance, but I'm just considering this a classic because it is a classic. So I'm not necessarily considering it in the romance category. This is kind of like a standalone, going to be a standalone experience. And it's Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I have never read it. Never read it, never read it. My knowledge of Pride and Prejudice is literally how much Kathleen Kelly loves this in You've Got Mail. That is the extent of my knowledge of this book. I know, okay? I know. But I have been in my Regency era recently. I've been watching a lot of Bridgerton. I read A Fragile Enchantment last month and I absolutely loved it. So I just feel like this fits the vibe and I'm just excited to read it. I got these copies for my birthday. I purchased them myself. It was a little birthday treat to myself. They're the Puffin and Bloom ones. I've showed them a million times because I just cannot stand how beautiful they are. They're absolutely stunning. So we have this copy. I am going to be reading it. I am going to be vlogging it as well. Fingers crossed. I'm not promising a certain vlog this month. I know I will vlog and I know there will be vlogs and I'm hoping to vlog this. But again, I just don't want to put any pressure on myself. So we'll see how this all turns out and what books I end up vlogging. But I would like to make this like a standalone vlog because I just think it would be really fun, especially coming from like a newly into romance reader. So yeah, it's a little intimidating because it is a classic. I know the writing is going to take me a second to get into, but I wanted to start with this one. I actually did a poll on my Instagram. This one ended up winning, but for a while there, Emma was like right neck and neck. But I think Emma's gonna end up being my favorite one, so I want to save that one for like the last read of like my classic kind of journey, which is something that I really want to do this year, is read more of like the classics. Like I've read Little Women, but like way long time ago. So I'd love to do a reread of that. And then I have Emma, Sense and Sensibility. I would love to read Anne of Green Gables, maybe like next spring. Anyways, it's a journey, okay? We're just here for the ride, but we are starting with Pride and Prejudice. This is one that I will definitely be prioritizing. I also would love to know, if you can let me know in the comments, if you've listened to the audiobook for this, is there a version or a certain narrator that you think I should listen to? Because yes, to be able to get through this, I will be choosing an audiobook to listen to. There's just so many versions out there, I'm not sure which one is the best or which one to go to. So if you have a favorite audiobook version of this, please let me know which one it is in the comments. That would be so helpful. Okay, moving on. Mystery, thriller, fantasy. You get it. I'm going to be reading the next in the Veronica Speedwell series. I got this checked out from the library. A Murder's Relation. I cannot remember what number this is. 5, 6... somewhere in there. I am making my way through the series. I'm very excited to continue. So this is next on the docket. It's probably going to be one of the first things that I read in May, and I just can't wait to get back into Veronica and Stoker, especially after how the last one ended. Excuse me, I need to continue in this like so quickly. So I will be getting to this. And then my other mystery that I would like to read this month is How to Solve Your Own Murder. This is a newer release that just came out. It's on my most anticipated of the year, but I haven't gotten to it yet. I mean, it only came out like last week or 2 weeks ago, so really hasn't been all that long. But this one I've heard such good things about so far. It has 2 point of views. We have like a previous timeline about the woman who knows that she is going to be murdered someday. I'm not exactly sure like how that works, but I'm excited to find out in the book. But she knows that she's going to be murdered someday. And then we have the present day timeline of her niece trying to like figure it out, I think. That is a very loose synopsis and I could be completely wrong on that. So don't take that with a grain of salt, but it's something along those lines where we have like a past timeline, present day timeline. This woman's trying to figure out how to solve her own murder, pretty much. So it sounds like it's gonna be fun and just a little bit quirky, not to be taken like too seriously, and that's just my vibe right now. So I feel like this is gonna be the perfect read for this month. And then on a more serious tone, on Indie Bookstore Day, I actually picked up Where Sleeping Girls Lie by Farida Bigay-Mine. This is the same author as Ace of Spades, which I actually read earlier this year and really, really, really loved it. I don't know why I waited so long. I like hyped it so much in my head that I was afraid to read it, but it ended up living up to the hype, and I'm really hoping that she knocks it out of the park again with this one. So far, I've been seeing incredible things, and I love this cover so much. With the bird, oh my gosh, and it takes place at a school, which, like, speaking my language, I love when thrillers take place at school. All I know about this one is that we have that, like, missing roommate trope, and then there's something about a secret society. I don't really know anything beyond that, and I don't care to. This is one I will happily go into blind because I just think it's way more fun that way. I'm hoping that this is like equally as dark, but also brings in those really important conversations like Ace of Spades did. Because if it does that, I know I'm going to love it. I know it. This is definitely like a 5-star prediction because of how much I loved Ace of Spades, so it's a lot of pressure, but I'm not gonna think of it like that. I just hit myself in the face. I'm not gonna think of it like that. We're just gonna go in and like hope that we love it. But I was also just so happy to support my local bookstore that day that, like, even if I don't, it just makes me happy and gives me a memory of supporting that day, which just is they actually gave me a bookmark. It's in here. Look, it's like a little hand-drawn one. Isn't that so cute? We love it. We love it. And yeah. Cannot wait to get to this. And then the last book that I have on my TBR for this month is What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez. I don't know a ton about this other than it is giving Indiana Jones vibes. It's giving The Mummy vibes, and like you say that, I want to know. This is like an adventure romantasy. You don't need to say anything else. You give me this cover, which is absolutely stunning. You say Indiana Jones and the Mummy, which I love. All the Egyptian vibes, yes. And then you say it's a romantasy. I mean, I also believe, if I'm not mistaken, there might be some sort of competition in here too, which, like, those are just the magical buzzwords to me. I cannot help it. I cannot help it. This just seems like it is going to be so fun, and I don't know what to expect. I don't think I've read a romantasy quite like this before, especially with these Egyptian themes throughout it. So I'm really excited. I mean, I've obviously seen The Mummy and Indiana Jones. Like, I know the vibes, but like in book form, I don't think I've read any, I know I haven't read anything like this. So it just makes me that much more stoked to pick it up, and I genuinely cannot wait. It's been sitting on my shelf for a few months now. I like ran to Barnes & Noble when I saw that this purple cover was available because I just love it over the black, and it's been sitting there waiting for its day, and I believe that day will come in May. This is also a 5-star prediction. I have read so many good romantasies recently. I don't know what's happening. At this point, maybe all of my favorite books at the end of the year, they might end up being romances. I don't know what is going on. I've read so many good ones recently. I have a feeling that this is going to be up there with one of my favorites. I will be so sad if this does not live up to the hype that I'm creating in my head. And I know that's my own fault, but it just sounds like it's gonna be so fun and so adventurous, and I can't wait any longer. So it's on the HTR for this month. And that is all of the books that I have on my HTR for May. Again, I don't know what is going to happen, but this feels digestible, at least. And if I don't get to all of the romances, like, that's okay. At least I have some of these other ones that have been highly anticipated, and it will just all be about priorities this month. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, please let me know in the comments if there is a audiobook narrator for Pride and Prejudice that you recommend. That would be really helpful. I also would love to know what you plan on reading in May. What is on your HTR for the month? Let me know. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe if you are not already. Turn on the bell so you never miss a video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!
With you and I, the future